York, New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from Nick of Time Show here, give you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And it's time to talk about what's going on in Knicks Nation, and it is the NBA free agency, and we're going to talk about it all. Before we even get into the details of free agency, you already know what it is. I have to introduce my guys. First and foremost, you already know this is the man, the myth, the legend, the guy with the stats and the facts.
Brian G's in the building. Let's go.
Let's go. Also, of course, you already know who it is. It's my man from the YouTube channel across the street. I call him the Raw Metaphor. It's the Raw Hebrew Remnant. What's going on, Raw?
What's up, KOT? Let's do this.
And of course, you already know this guy's been on a few times already. My man Lee from contributed to Deadspin and posting and toasting. What's going on, Lee?
Glad to be back. Talk free agency, talk Knicks, good, bad, and the ugly.
Good, the bad, and the ugly. Now let's get to it. Before we make fun of these Nets, because that is absolutely coming. These Nets are imploding right in front of our eyes. Let's talk about some Knicks. And first of all, let's talk about our biggest free agent signing so far in Jalen Brunson. He announced his intentions with the Knicks. He intends to sign a 4-year, $110 million deal with these New York Knicks. And I think he's supposed to sign, I think all free agents supposed to sign, I think the 7th, I believe. So it's official. I mean, it's almost official, not quite official. We already talked about it the other day, Lee. Hopefully, Marcus Morris things happen at the last minute. But it's looking like all roads are pointing to the Knicks. Even the rumor that he's speaking to the Miami Heat, that has all of a sudden obliterated, and he's going to the New York Knicks. Let's start with Raw, who's talking with us in the airport of Dallas. Meaning, if Brunson was trying to run and go back to Dallas, Raw was there to get him and drag him to New York. That's how dedicated my man Raw is. All right, Raw.
I was here looking for him, Jalen.
I know.
If he shows up here, we sending him back to the city. But he's good. He's good.
KOC everywhere, man. Don't slip.
Yeah,
up.
no, he's good. He's good. Solid signing by the Knicks. Not some people trip out talking about overpay, but that's just Knicks hate from the media. Wasn't an overpay. It was a solid signing for an NBA starting level point guard. We haven't had a starting level point guard that's not past his prime since we got Stephon Marbury.
Yeah.
And we haven't had a real stable one like since we got Charlie Ward. So this is a big step. What we all know we've been missing for several years. And so I'm excited about him coming and just what he's going to bring in terms of leadership, winning, and culture. Very, very excited about that.
Yeah, Lee, what do you have to add to that? I already know you wrote a whole piece on posting, toasting, talking about his fit with the Knicks, especially you being from Dallas. I know you've seen a lot of his games, and you have like the up close and personal seat of Jalen Brunson, what he can bring to the team.
I hate Mavs fans and hate Mavs, but I love Luka, and I've always loved Jalen Brunson. If I could pick one player outside of Luka from that squad to be on our team, hands down, it'd be Jalen Brunson. He brings a steady hand at the point. The Charlie Ward reference is very apt because I think Brunson's a high IQ, steady, good ball distributor, good facilitator, gets to the teeth of a defense, looks for the open man. I like the fit in Dallas. Any contract over 15 mil is going to be a little bit of an overpay. I think you just play. That's the market dictated. The market between the bidding war between us and Mavs said 27 mil. That's what we're giving them. I'm happy to pay that over Burks, Noel, and Walker.
Absolutely. Anything to add to that, Ryan?
I think pretty much Ron Lee said it all right there. We know point guard's definitely been a position of need for the Knicks for the past 10, 15 seasons, it seems like now. And, they finally get a stable point guard in Jalen Brunson. And, there's still a little questions about his fit because, Dallas roster is different from the Knicks roster, but I do see that the Knicks are trying to move forward in a direction where they're trying to fill their roster with, with different guys, more versatile guys who can shoot, especially with the signing they made with Hartenstein, a guy, who can shoot the three and is a big and can pass as well. So I think the Knicks are trying to form their roster to where they can accommodate Jalen Brunson, and he would be a better fit alongside RJ, etc. So, 27 mil, some people might say it's an overpay, but the Knicks got their guy, and the Knicks need help in the point guard position, and that's what Brunson gives the Knicks, improvement at the point guard position.
Yeah, it's all about fit, man. And I keep saying he's still a young guy, so there is room for improvement here, especially him being a guy who's going to be a true, real deal starter for the first time. It's going to be interesting to see if he rises to the occasion or not. History shows to me from what I've seen from him that his percentages are always good, so he's always going to be stable. I think that's not going to change. Whether it's with New York or with the Dallas Mavericks, will he ascend is going to be a different issue, and hopefully he does. And hopefully he does and rises to the occasion and rises to his contract. Like Ryan G said, though, defense might be an issue. I've heard his off-ball defense isn't as good. But he might be a solid team defender, especially with Tibbs here. I'm pretty sure he's going to use him correctly and have a solid team defense built around Jalen Brunson. But I also think it starts around who's playing with Jalen Brunson, and Evan. Hopefully, he gets smart. Tibbs gets smart to move Evan Fournier. But solid signing overall. A little bit overpay as well. You already know my concerns is if we have too much overpay in different sections, it's going to be very hard for us to get under that. Because, we just moved a bunch of movable contracts. Like, we attached second round picks to get rid of Noel and Burks and those guys. If Brunson, Julius Randle both miss, it's not going to be no seconds to move these guys. It's going to be first for sure. But I feel like I'm more confident that Jalen Brunson is not going to be a bust. He's going to be, I think he's going to perform to his contract or a little bit under and possibly over. I don't think it's going to be a big miss for us when it comes to Jalen Brunson.
The thing is too is that my concerns about Brunson go back to him coming out of Villanova just to see if he would translate as far as NBA ability. He had all of the, footwork, everything you want as far as the point guard, but being drafted in the second round and not sure if he would be able to translate. There've been so many undersized guards that haven't, but he's already proven now that he does translate. And the thing is about, to me, the strength of Jalen Brunson, aside from his grit, is his IQ. Never bet against a guy that plays with his brain, because he's going to always try to find a way to beat you.
Right.
Okay, so the floor may not be open, but he'll figure something else out, and he'll work with Tibbs to figure out angles, to figure out what's the best way to attack a defense that, whatever.
Got you. And I'm not sure if he lost Raw or not because it seemed like he paused, but also his leadership seems like to be something that might be desired. He was able to kind of lead the Dallas Mavericks without Luka to some victories. And I don't know what type of leader he is, but it seems like he has a reputation. Hopefully he kind of brings that voice to the New York Knicks as well. And hopefully we're out the matrix sometime. Anything to add to that? I don't know if you have anything to add to that, if you want to move the conversation.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've been really impressed with what Leon Rose is bringing Brunson into. This is not a situation like when Isaiah Thomas went out and got Stephon Marbury and didn't have any support in terms of a point guard around him, a veteran off the bench or a young guy who can come in and sub in for minutes. Brunson's entering a situation where he's got Derrick Rose, Emmanuel Quickley, and Deuce Bride also on the roster that will provide a different point of attack, that will provide some defensive equity off the bench to counterpoint some of Brunson's weaknesses and to enhance his strengths. I think that's something that's found missing in people writing about this Brunson trade, is that he's not coming in here to be the savior and the only Knick on a point guard on the roster. He's come in joining a very solid rotation of ball distributors and shooters at every slot.
I agree. It always is going to depend, to me, on what Tom Thibodeau does and if he values these other guys, right? Because I feel like last year he deferred to the veterans sometimes, but in this case, this year, it might be time to kind of pass the torch and trust some of these young guys over the veterans. And if Tom Thibodeau is able to do that and trust his instincts and not just go with the veterans just for the sake of, I think we'll be fine. Because like we said, we talked about behind the scenes, Evan Fournier seems like a much better fit next to Jalen Brunson. So I'm hopefully he goes into that direction because we actually have the tools. Like Evan and IQ together could be magic, right? The same goes with Evan and Grimes. Like the same goes with with not Evan and Grimes, with Brunson and Grimes. It seems like there's a lot of matching that we can do to make this thing work. So it's just really up to Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah, and I also do want to add one thing as well. I think one thing that's going to be interesting is seeing how Brunson would be in a situation where the Knicks don't really have a legit number one. Like the Knicks is more, scoring by committee as opposed to Dallas, where the legit number one is Luka Doncic. So I definitely do want to see how Jalen Brunson fits in that situation. Defensively, I'm not really concerned because throughout the season, like Thibs has made his mistakes where, he started a roster with, he started a line had Kemba and Fournier and in the backcourt, that just was a disaster and things like that. But also throughout the season, I've seen Thibs put out certain lineups where he was able to hide Fournier on defense and stuff like that. So I think he'd be able to do the same with Brunson. And even if Fournier moves to that bench unit, I think he'll do the same with Fournier, as long as he puts the right pieces around those guys to where, he doesn't put them in uncomfortable situations defensively.
Nah.
Yeah. I feel like Fournier is not the shiny new toy this season. I don't think Thibs feels the pressure to have him out there in the starting unit because Scott Perry and Leon Rose just dished out $18 million a year. I think he can now move to the bench because of the new acquisitions to better balance out the starting five. And I think Grimes is the best candidate to slot in next to him.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that's going to be key. And I also kind of feel like what's going to be key is how do they use Brunson? Because my complaint last season, even though Kemba he was kind of like on his last legs a little bit, my complaint last season was we had one of the best pick and roll point guards in the NBA, and a lot of the offenses run through Randle, right? Now we have Jalen Brunson here, who, in the small sample sizes, he's probably the best ISO player on the team, based on what we've seen from Dallas and his track record. So it's going to be interesting to see when the going gets tough, who gets the ball. Like, are we going to defer to Brunson? Are we going to defer to Randle? Or are we going to defer to RJ? Last season, towards the end of the season, we was deferring a lot more to RJ. With Brunson here, who's kind of a steadier hand, will that still be the trend? You know what I mean? So that's going to be something to look at. Also, listen, Fred Cats. I've been listening to a lot of Fred Cats too. I know a lot of you guys, including me, want Julius Randle gone. We want him gone. And the Knicks have kind of done their due diligence. I've heard that they've been calling around the league, and just to kind of get a sense of his price range and his value. And what I've heard was that it doesn't seem like this might be the time to move him. The Knicks aren't just going to give him away from nothing. So Randle's going to have to perform for us to move on from him. And I'm not gonna lie, the minute he starts going and it's time to trade, if his value is up, I'm moving him. I am moving him. But so, and it's funny because moving on from now, Jalen Brunson is with the New York Knicks. I'm hoping that there is a sign and trade scenario, right? To me, anyway, that's what I'm hoping. My really dream scenario is to have Julius Randle to try in the sign and trade scenario, but that might not happen. But do you feel like there will be a sign and trade scenario between the Knicks and the Dallas Mavericks, or would you even like that scenario in your mind? Raw, what do you think?
It would be a dream come true, but I think it's too good to be true. I mean, it would be a dream come true because if we could send Julius there in a signing trade, it would be even money. Or if it was Evan Fournier, we would even gain a little bit of cap space. No, we wouldn't gain cap space, but it would still be good. So I don't know. I am assuming the worst and assuming it's a straight up signing for Jalen Brunson, hoping that maybe something better is behind it. Because like you said, it's not official.
Yeah. I already know Lee. Lee kind of he's on the he wants to keep Evan Fournier in a different role, right, Lee?
I like Fournier off the bench. I do agree that he would be extremely complimentary playing alongside a rim runner like Sims or a new addition, Isaiah Hartenstein. I like him next to Deuce McBride and IQ as well. I think there's some good combinations for him off the bench. I just don't want to give the Mavs any sweeteners. I hate their fan base. They're a terrible fan base. They're fair weather fans. Not a fan of the ownership and the front office in Dallas. I think Fournier should be used later on down the line to actually get back an asset, not to be able to get someone that we already signed outright. But if Randle can be gone, I think Dallas right now would take anyone to appease their fan base because they're pissed that Nico let Brunson walk for nothing. If we can get rid of Randle, do it. But otherwise, let's just enjoy Brunson and save our pieces for another trade.
So Lee, let me ask you, Lee, do you think that Fournier would be willing to take a bench role to play on the second unit? Because that was my concern. I think he would be a good second unit piece, but I'm wondering, I'm just thinking back to last year when he started having attitudes when he wasn't in the fourth quarter. And if I would think that somebody would have to approach him and say, this is going to be your role this year. And if he doesn't accept that, they probably have to move on from him because Grimes fits better next to Jalen Brunson. So I would think it'd be fair to Evan to say, listen, Evan, this is what we're going to do. What do you think? How do you feel about that? Do you think he'd accept that?
I think right now he's got a lot less leverage than he did last season when he was a brand new addition to the team. And it wasn't really sure what the plus minuses for certain lineups were for the first half of the season. I understand his gripe because he wasn't getting a fair shake. Kimbo was in and out of the lineup, getting benched, randomly. But now we've seen the impact of Fournier with the starting lineup. It's not a good fit. And with the team took a step back. We missed the playoffs. We missed the play-in. We had another losing season. We're in the lottery. There's not much for him to say, hey, besides I broke the 3-point season record, but we're the Knicks. We haven't had shooters in the last 2 decades. That's not as big of an accomplishment as it would be with another team. I think there's leverage for Thibodeau now. It'd be like, these are my guys. I don't have the veterans that I did. We're going with the youngsters. And the front office is going to pivot away from trying to win now and focus more on development with the youth. I think the front office has the leverage to do that.
Yeah,
if not, right. Trade them. If not.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I hope you're right there.
Yeah, it's funny because we have, like, Alec Burks, as much flack as people gave him, he was one of our best 3-point shooters on the team, and now he's gone. So now it's going to be up to Grimes. It's going to be up to Evan Fournier. It's going to be up to IQ to really step up on that side of the ball and just start to hit shots. So it's funny because on one side, I very much value Evan Fournier's 3-point shooting, but then when I look down the bench, right, all the way down the bench, and I look at the potential of Cam, Reddish, and I'm like, who's in Cam Reddish's way? You got Grimes, who needs to play because he's the best wing defender on the team as of today, and we have Cam Reddish, who also we need to see what he has because he needs to play some minutes because look, we gave up a first rounder and Knox for him. Now, granted, it was a very low first rounder, but we gave assets for him. So if Evan Fournier is here, we already know what Tom is. Seeing what he has, to me, is almost not going to happen. Like I really don't see Tom playing Cam over Evan. And that's the really big concern, which is why if I'm looking at Dallas, even though you don't want to do any favors, do us a favor. Hey, and you need him. You need him. Is Tim Hardaway Jr. going to be injury free for 82 games? You might need another 3-point shoot. I'm just saying. That's my whole thought process with that. Even though I do value Evan Fournier's shooting, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think Dallas definitely is going to want to get something back for Jalen Brunson at least. So I'm thinking a sign and trade is going to definitely go down. It just depends on who the Knicks are going to give up in that sign and trade to get Brunson here. But with Fournier, for me, like I've always been a guy, like I've been indifferent on Fournier because I do value his 3-point shooting. You know, the Knicks haven't had a shooter like that for a while now. But at the same time, it's like I do understand that Fournier is one of those veterans where he does take playing time away from a few of the young players on the team. So it's one of those players where it's like you do appreciate what he brings to the team, but at the same time, it's like if you really want to focus on young player development, then he's probably one of the pieces that has to go to open up minutes for other players as well. So it's one of those things where it's like, you know, if Fournier is on the team, I'm cool. If Fournier is not on the team and he gets traded, I'm cool. You know, I'm not really, leaning either way on Fournier.
It's funny because I don't expect it to be smooth sailing just because Fournier is going either. Like because he is a steady 3-point shooter. So if we do play, maybe Cam works out and he's great, and maybe he doesn't. But I just want to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like I just want to see it. I just want to see what happens. Like this could be a missing piece, or this could be a trade piece. Go ahead, Ross. Sound like you want to say
No,
something.
you're absolutely right. And this is, I try to combine what I want versus what I think Tibbs and Leon are going to do. And logically, well, first, there's two ways to look at it. Evan Fournier doesn't fit the timeline with the rest of these kids, right? So you might want to say, well, maybe we can get asset for him now. Maybe we can get a pick for him now. Or Evan Fournier is a valuable shooter. And we want to promote Quentin Grimes into that starting spot. But if Evan's willing to come off the bench, maybe we keep him as that veteran shooter coming off the bench in our second unit. And then Cam becomes the odd man out, So I can see it going both ways. I think we'll know by the end of probably Monday, by the end of the 4th of July weekend, because they'll announce the terms of the deal. Right. And so we'll see what happens.
I think it's fair to say that Tibbs did not have an obsession with Fournier the same way that he did with Alec Burks.
You're right.
And Taj Gibson.
You're right.
Those two guys, it don't matter how bad they were playing, he was going to have them a set number of minutes depending on the matchups. Fournier, he had no problem pulling out and benching in 4 quarters. So I think there's a little more likelihood that there'll be flexibility there with him moving to the bench. But I'm with you guys. If he's not willing to, and he causes any sort of disruption, or Cam is not getting an opportunity, trade his ass.
Yeah, and the Knicks, it just seems like when I'm looking at Eaton and the reporting, I keep hearing that they're shopping Evan Fournier for sure. That's definitely happening. But I'm also hearing that they are asking for a 1st-round pick for Cam Reddish. Yeah, they're asking for a 1st round.
The Knicks are right.
The Knicks are canvassing and they're asking.
Yes. I love Leon. He ain't taking no shorts.
No, True. He's not. And to be honest, Cam was almost dealt at the deadline to the Lakers, but I feel like they did not take that deal because I don't think the Lakers. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think the Lakers included a 1st in that deal. I think it was a bunch of seconds. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Leon was pushing for more. Leon kept pushing,
and he had the right to.
It was 1 first. I think he wanted 2.
He wanted 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. He probably wanted 2. And I think at that point too, I think Alec Burks might have been playing well too. So he was like,
I just love that we got a guy in charge that you know what? He ain't gonna make a bad deal. He's not coming out.
Preach.
Yeah.
He's not coming up short. I don't care where everybody. Well, he should have did this. He should have that because people are used to coming up short in New York. Leon ain't that tight, man. He'll walk away from a deal then come out short.
Yeah, you're not fleecing the agent, that's for sure. Agent knows anything. He knows values of players. That is for sure. Question to you guys too. Do you see anything happening after this Knicks Nation? Because there's always a surprise Knick move somewhere. This year's surprise Knick move happens to be Isaiah from the Clippers, and we'll talk about him in a minute. But do you guys see anything else happening with us in the future.
I don't see anything earth shattering at this point, because I think is what Lee was saying. They want to push these youth forward, and you got to see what you have, right?
Yeah.
So then if something comes up next summer or the summer after, you see what your assets are really worth, So I can see them pushing that, and I hope Lee is right, that Tibbs is on board with this, because if that's the case, boy, you're gonna see some stuff.
Absolutely. And gunshots. I see the chat. I see you, chat. Gunshots for Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox has signed with the Detroit Knicks. I mean, the Detroit Pistons. It's like a 2 years, $6 million deal for corner Kev. So congratulations to Kevin Knox, who's
Come on,
the
Kev.
NBA, man. All right, because sometimes it's looking shaky. I mean, listen, we got some free spots, man. With Alec Burks gone. And others, Alec Bird's gone, Kemba Walker gone, Nerlens Noel gone. We got roster spots. Are we bringing back Frank Ntilikina? I don't know, like, what's happening? Something's gonna happen.
Oh boy.
There is no coming back from Frank, man. Frank lost. He don't have that availability gene, baby.
we need somebody who plays some defense somewhere. I don't know.
I would like to see someone come out of summer league. I'm a big I'm here in Dallas, so I watch a lot of SMU. My girlfriend went to SMU, so we don't watch a lot of the basketball games. Ferron Hunt was my favorite Mustang during the time that he was here, and now that he's been the Knicks, he's playing the summer league. Would love for one of those roster spots to be filled by him. He's a 3-and-D guy. Plays some small 4, some big 3, knock down corner 3s, play some defense. I would love for one of those spots previously held by Nerlens Noel and Birds to be filled with a young kid like Ferron Hunt.
And he's paid his dues.
Yes. Pelicans, Mavs, he's been bouncing around the G League. I'm very happy that Leon Rose and Walt Perrin scouted him and brought him onto the team in a not two-way contract, but a G League opportunity.
That would be good.
Yeah, I like that better than some like veteran bum that's just trying to steal minutes, trying to add to the locker room. And we've had enough of that. Let's really invest in the kids and the scouting we have with Walt Perrin and Scott Perry. They have a great mind, great basketball minds. Let's utilize it.
That's a very good point. If you haven't realized it, the Knicks have announced their summer league roster.
Yep.
So you got to stay tuned for that. I'm trying to pull up the graphic. The graphic has very small type. We got Miles McBride is here, of course.
Got Grimes.
We got Grimes in the place. We got Jericho Sims.
There.
And others. I don't know if anybody has a list right now.
I didn't see Keels. Is Keels on there?
Yeah, Keels is on there too. Yeah.
So that's a good point. We can definitely pluck some guys from the summer league roster if need be to fill in some shoes.
No, especially Barrett Hunt. He could play the wing too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, he can help with the wing depth, even though he won't get a lot of time. But I think he's earned
got the list.
Yeah.
I got the summer league team.
Okay.
So we got Javon Blair from Georgetown, Garrison Brooks, Mississippi State, Vince Edwards, Purdue, Quentin Grimes, Ferron Hunt, Trevor Keels, Daquan Jeffries, Tulsa, Miles McBride, Gene Montero, Dominican Republic. I think he played for Overtime Elite as well.
Yeah, G Montero.
Yeah. Michael Potter, Wisconsin, Quentin Rhodes, Temple, Deshaun Swartz, George Mason, Amir Sims, Clemson, and Jericho Sims and MJ Walker, Florida State.
Okay, Walker. We got Sims. We got the rookie Montero. All right, it should be a pretty exciting summer league team.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping Amir Sims would be on last year's team. I liked him last summer.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice to have him back.
Yep. Agreed.
Nice to have him back for sure. All right, moving on. If you have not noticed, there is a new center on the roster. We've been looking. Nerlens Noel is now gone, and it's time for his replacement. Somebody who can catch.
No more Butterfingers. No more Butterfingers.
No more Butterfingers. No more Butterfingers.
Hands of cement. Hands of stone.
Exactly.
Is not further in.
Exactly. And Leon Rose and these guys, it was like, nah, just catch him. We're gonna do you something better, all right? You're gonna have me able to catch and shoot a little bit, all right? Ooh, right? Look at that from a center, catching and shooting. And we got Isaiah Hartenstein, center power forward. He's a backup from the Clippers, gives you 8.3 points per game. A passing big man. I saw some nice passings from his highlights. I saw some kind of like not quitting Grimes. Yo, Ryan. You know who I'm about to say. Q. Old school Knicks. Who's the center of the Knicks with the beard? Gosh.
He plays something for the Knicks?
Yes, with KP. With KP.
Joakim Noah?
Not Joakim Noah. No.
Oh, Robin Lopez?
No. He can pass. He was a good rebounder. He always had the timing with the blocks. Somebody help me out.
There was
KP?
pogo stick. There was this pogo stick out of Oregon. I forgot his name.
No, he wasn't even that big of a leaper. He was back a little bit leaper, but he was.
He was just an offensive player.
He can. No, he played defense. He played defense. Pick and pop guy. Can pass.
Herman Goes?
Not Cancer.
I'm trying to think.
Kylo Quinn. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, Ajay.
Kylo Quinn. Oh, yeah. How we forget about Kylo Quinn?
Kylo Quinn.
How we forget about that, man?
Kylo Quinn. I see some
Kylo
Kylo Quinn like passes in his highlights. I see when he's passing get some passes from the back door, and play some defense too, man. I don't know if anybody's done any research. What do you think of this signing of Isaiah Hartenstein?
I mean, for me personally, I like it. I've seen him play with the Clippers some games this season. He's a big that. It's interesting because he brings a skill set that Mitch doesn't really have. Like, it's a different type of big. Off the pick and roll. Like, I've seen him make some nice passes to the corner for 3-point shooters and stuff like that, which is something that Mitch doesn't necessarily do. And the fact that he has a perimeter shooting. He's a decent big. He can defend. I mean, it's a pretty positive signing for me. It gives the Knicks another dimension, which is that dimension that they sorely needed. So I'm on board with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if anybody else had anything to add to it before I get in.
Yeah, his passes from the high post. Oh, go ahead.
Very, very late. No, I was gonna say this one surprised me because I was expecting a Drummond, a guy like that, an older dude maybe, but this one surprised me. This is perfect. I mean, a guy, because you're going to be investing 55-60 million into Mitch Robinson, so he's going to be a starting center, but you got a very adequate backup, 15-20 minutes a game if you need him. That's going to play at a pretty high level with a high IQ. So I love it.
Go ahead, Lee.
I agree. It's kind of odd. We don't really ever get historically players at this point in their career where they're on a team in a backup situation where they start emerging and then that next team signs them for a pretty value contract and then they blow up. We're either like way before or way after. So it's actually a damn good accomplishment that Leon Rose and co were able to find this guy, scout him, and not really convince him. Like I didn't hear about him meeting with any other team. He really wanted to be in New York, play in New York, even though he knew he was going to be in a backup role. Man, kudos to the front office. Was his shooting split numbers around the basket, I mean, for his career are unbelievable. I have 60% career field goal percentage, 65% efficient field goal percentage, 64% from the 2-point line. And hey, he shot 47% from three.
47% very low volume.
0.4 attempts a game.
0.4 attempts a game, but when he takes them,
it go in.
I think we have more of an offensive-minded lineup there in the bench, and he's coming at the center position. He can play that Vlade Divac, Brad Miller role in the high post and really facilitate for the cutters. These guys with some great cutters and Grimes and Reddish and IQ. Man, he could really be a solid offensive weapon in terms of facilitating from the center position.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm thinking a guy named Austin. Y'all remember Austin Crozier?
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm thinking his role is.
Yeah, I'm thinking about how I'm sorry, Knicks fans, for mentioning this name. I don't want to bring you any PTSD because he just got off our books when Joakim Noah was in his prime.
Oh man.
Not
damn.
Knicks Joakim. Both Joakim. You know, both Joakim Noah. Tom Thibodeau knew how to use him in the.
Too early.
I'm sorry. Tom Thibodeau knew how to use him in the offense. When Derrick Rose went down, he went to Joakim Noah, and he had success. He had some success with him, using his big man passing ability. And
Sure.
I think that applies here because this man can pass, and he doesn't get a lot of minutes. But the hope is just like Jalen Brunson, he comes to a new team, he increases minutes, and he slightly, and he increases production. And let's be honest, Mitch, he's injured a lot of the time, so there will be times where he's going to get a lot more opportunity to play some starters minutes. And so I agree, this was a great signing, and I'm trying to make this graphic nice and clean and big so you guys can see, but it's not fitting cleanly. But I'm just have to rock with it. All right. So some of the things I want to point out is what you guys have been talking about already. The rim. We've been struggling at the rim. He's a center, so he's in 70% talent at the rim. But what makes him modern is like the ability to have a little pick and pop game. You know what I'm saying? He's 87% in the short range. In the short mid range. The long mid range not so good. But at the rim in the short mid, he's there. So I feel like around to like 15 feet, he might be pretty good at shooting. So that's pretty good. I've also seen some stats that was interesting that said that he is one of the best big man defenders at the rim. And in his small sample size, I saw some crazy number. I think Fred Cass tweeted this. He says opponents only shoot 47.5% on dunks and layups this past season when Hartenstein was the closest defender, the second best figure in the NBA. And I've also saw something that said people usually shoot 15% less than their average when they're being defended by him. So the Knicks did a due diligence, and also he's a big guy, but he also seems like he can move his feet a little bit. He's very active, and he's able to kind of defend on the perimeter. And you know, guys like Jericho Sims, he's a little bit more mobile. Jericho Sims is more mobile than he is, but he's still, for his size, he's still pretty mobile. So the Knicks have done a good job of getting these centers who can defend the rim and can, you know, guard the perimeter better than most centers. And that's with for three of our guys, Jericho Sims, Mitchell Robinson, and Isaiah. So it seems like a really solid pick from these New York Knicks, man.
Great value contract too, $8 million a year. Fantastic. For a 24-year-old, love it.
Right. Is it $8 million or is it 6? Is it 16 for 2 years?
2 years, 2 years, 16.
Yeah. 2 years,
Did they
16
use the mid? I wonder if they used the mid level for him, or did they just use cap space?
Good question. I haven't seen that.
I think that is a great question. That is
One thing for sure, they said it for 2 years. That's the timeline they get Jericho prepared to become backup.
right.
Yeah. We'll have to look that up though.
And I'm pretty sure, and I know Roy mentioned this on Twitter before, and how the Knicks roll. That second year, if I had to bet some money, is a team option. All right.
Yeah, that second year probably is.
That second year, if I had to bet money.
Leon now, baby. You're dealing with the Rose. You're dealing with the Don. So
Exactly. And it's funny. I think Mavs fans actually want him.
Yeah, they did.
And
they did.
Once again, the Knicks come in.
swoop in.
Wait, hold up. I'm not sure. This is 2 years, $16 million deal, fully guaranteed.
Oh, I say fully guaranteed.
Fully
Yeah,
guaranteed.
So it doesn't look like there's a player option. It's fully guaranteed.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, 2 years. It's 2 years, so that makes sense. So it's a 2 year.
It's a 2-year deal. I guess that makes it aggressive because
Yeah, for Leon.
For Leon, they aggressively gave him 2 years. Salute. But hold on, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Let me first of all, gunshots. I know you got super chat a little bit earlier, so let me give that man his flowers. who sends a $4.99 super chat from Iconoclast 6. Thank you. Helps keep the lights on. So thank you for the super chat. All right. Also shout out to everybody who's rocking the KOT show. Shout out to Glamour Knicks. Shout out to Bentley Rev, Fundamentals, Jean Mark, and everybody else who's rocking with the KOT show. Son from Brooklyn, shout out to you too. Son from Brooklyn, big shout out to you for saying Kylo Quinn. All right. You know what I'm talking about. All right. Can we talk about the demise of the Nets real quick? Because I just want to.
Oh, yes.
Let's go.
Man, 3 years to this date. We were the laughing stock of ESPN, the laughing stock of Twitter. And man, had the mighty have fallen. I'm not like I've been staying away from the Bing Bong stuff. But I had to revisit it today. The dude who's like Kevin Durant. Don't you read it? Not coming to the Knicks. I had to. Oh my god, that was a retweet. That was a retweet because it's funny because before he came here, we were all remember Ryan. It was me, you, Kathy, and Edson, Sean talking about this. We were all like, man, we really love KD, but Kyrie, I don't know. I don't know. He's a problem. What do you, man? Who wants to go? Who wants to go? Because this is.
Well, I'll say this. You know, as a Knicks fan, it's really rough out here in these streets because oftentimes the franchise that we love has made moves where the media, whether it be ESPN, whoever else it is, they just laugh at us repeatedly over and over and over again. And to finally be in a situation where a move that they criticize us for, saying that our franchise is this, our franchise is that, because we couldn't land KD and Kyrie, just to see it blow up in the Nets' face, and that KD wants out because of Kyrie's issues in Brooklyn, where that man has sat out more games than he has played this season. I feel like Thanos, like looking over and like I can finally rest now because I'm like, it's like it came around full circle. Like as a Knicks fan, I can finally laugh and be like, we had the last laugh. Oh, finally,
I am terrorizing everybody at work. Whoever had a Nets hat on, I am going big. I'm walking through Flatbush tomorrow, pointing and laughing. All right, anybody with Nets gear on, because this is, oh my god, this is too good. And Richard Jefferson, the number one Knicks hater in the world, is out here tap dancing and capping. Oh, it's not as bad. Oh, the excuses. Nah, Richard Jefferson, keep that same energy, the same energy that you gave to Knicks fans when we lost out on KD and Kyrie, the way you frame us all day, all night, every day, without a thought. Knicks will be a topic he mentions. Keep that energy for you.
You call him Richard Jefferson? I thought his name was Stephen Fetchit.
Stephen Fetchit.
Oh, yikes. Damn.
Damn, that's savage.
Yo.
Listen, man, we don't call him raw for nothing, right? I'm basking. I'm basking, man. I'm basking in the glory.
Richard Jefferson.
And that is our show.
And that is our good night.
I love the situation they're in because Kevin Durant for sure is going to give them a huge haul. But their own draft picks, Houston owns them. I think they own like 3 of them in the James Harden trade.
Yep.
So they don't have their own picks, which is hilarious.
Wow.
They still have 2 of the most untradeable, undesired players in NBA in Simmons and Irving. Yeah. I mean, you don't only get 25%, 40% of a talent back when you eventually trade those 2. Joe Harris still on the books, whatever, 3-4 seasons at 18, 19 million per. Like, their salary is garbage. Their front office is garbage. Steve Nash is probably the biggest bum coach in the NBA. Did not deserve that job to begin with. And now he's stuck with the roster he deserves now once Kevin Durant is gone. Because he should not have gotten that gig. That should have been Sam Cassell or one of the other great assistants been putting that work in over the years. Steve Nash is a bum and the franchise is a bum. I couldn't be happy. It's a great day.
Amen. You know, Kenny Atkinson built that team.
Facts.
Yep.
From the ground up. And they got rid of him. As soon as they made it back, they get rid of him. And so, you know what? Here, to me, I think is pretty ironic. I mean, the Knicks are signing the next stone in their building the right way. The Nets were building the right way and threw it all away for two drama queens.
Yeah.
And so they're all getting what they got coming.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah,
You can't afford by a championship. You got to earn it.
Yeah, you gotta earn it. And when you let a diva run your team, this is exactly what happens. So
I'm talking about we're gonna co-coach the team.
that was hilarious. That was so cringe, man. When I watched that, me, Kevin, and Sean and these guys, we're gonna come together. We're gonna manage the team together. Like,
I lost all respect.
Like,
I mean, living in Dallas, I used to love Steve Nash. I lost all respect for him when his own players are emasculating him on national TV and he didn't have anything to say and come back with. Like, I was like, man, where's your honor, dude? Like, you already don't know the X's and O's. Now you don't have a heart. Come on, bro.
yeah, that's
Trash.
man. Yeah, it's a players' league, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's a players' league, unfortunately, and players did that, and players ran the Nets into the ground. So
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, good luck. I mean, who knows? Maybe Kevin Durant can help Chris get a ring. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, so everybody, if you want to watch Bonner and Bailey, they're at Barclays Center now. So go and get your tickets for next season, all right?
And exactly, and I'll bet they're all discounted right about now. Not that they weren't cheap already, because you already know you can get them two for 20. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, hold up. This time it's gonna be for a discount code. Ben Simmons.
Oh,
discount code. Yes. Get your tickets for cheaper.
Nah, Ben. You got the juice now, Ben.
I can't wait for Joe Harris bobblehead night.
Oh, shoot. This is good. This is the best part of the show, right here. Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
Joe Harris bobblehead. Oh,
Joe Harris and Nick Claxton bobble night.
Don't forget Patty Mills.
Oh, man.
Patty coming back.
Yeah, BK, coming back. He signed a 2-year deal.
Damn, man. You left the Spurs for that, Patty. Damn.
You got to feel bad for Royce O'Neal. Royce O'Neal got traded from the Jazz.
I know.
Nets, and then immediately Kevin Durant's like, get me out of here.
He's like, this is your big play? I'm out. I'm good.
The Nets gave up a first for him.
Yes, they did.
Oh, my God.
The last first they had.
They went to Utah. Oh, man.
Help build the Celtics. Help build the Rockets. And they gave the last first they ever had to Utah.
Can anyone look up the amount of first round draft picks the Nets have for the next 7 years? It's like 2? 1? Like, what's the number?
I don't know, man.
All right, no, my plane is getting ready to go.
All right, yo. Shout out to Raw, man. Thank you for watching. This man is dedicated.
Yo, y'all made my day, man. This is funny.
Shout out to you. Glad we can make you laugh. Get these jokes in right before you hit that flight.
Facts.
All right. Salute to you, man. Ah, man. Got me dying. Oh, shout out. I got the super chat. I know there's a super chat who came in. Shout outs. I don't know what your name is because it's written in hieroglyphics. Something 2189 sends a 5 super chat. Says Dallas didn't extend JB. KD wants out of Brooklyn. ATL traded 3 unprotected, but Knicks get hated on. Degraded on all media. Now who's laughing now? That's right, damn it. Let me know. We laughing, damn it, because this is comedy. Whew.
It's mind-boggling that in the Brunson trade, the Knicks are the ones getting bashed for an overpay. And no one bashes on Dallas for having the opportunity to extend Jalen Brunson and end all this free agent talk. They didn't go to the extension, and now they're getting him for absolutely peanuts. Come on,
Yeah.
bro.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It kind of forged the wedge between Brunson and Dallas Mavericks, and now they're paying price for it. And you know
Yeah.
what? This is a perfect segue to our next topic. All right, which is R.J. Barrett. All right, because it's been rumored by Ian Begley that the Knicks and R.J. Barrett are kind of, seems like they're on the same page. It seems like they're kind of on the same level of reaching a deal. They haven't disclosed if there's going to be a specific deal or when or anything of that nature. But it does seem like they are on the same page. So we should not expect any DeAndre Ayton messes or any Jalen Brunson messes as well. So shout out to that. I saw it says Barrett can become eligible for an extension on July 1st. He and the Knicks have until the day before 2022-2023 season to reach an agreement. If they don't, he'll hit restricted free agency next summer. So I mean, it seems like they're on board with either A, extending him this summer at a number that both of these guys agree to, or B, even waiting next summer, but with the intention of we value you, we're gonna bring you back. But you know how it is. We got Brock Holly here. We're gonna do some ninjutsu. We're gonna do some cat flexibility ninjutsu so you can maximize our assets and still bring you in. That's what I read from it. I don't know if any of you have anything to add to this, or do you even have any thoughts on what should we extend RJ Barrett for? Because what I've been reading was a lot of these guys feel like the GMs. Fred Katz did some survey. He said a lot of GMs felt like 25 million, 27 million. Around that range was the most common answer.
Yeah, with RJ Barrett, I'm always a fan of, this is me in general. I feel like when you have homegrown talent, it's always best to extend them before it's their last season and then they go into the summer with free agency, whatever the case may be. Because say for example, you decide to not extend RJ, and then after next season, RJ has an explosive season. Then you have to start considering if you're going to sign him to a max deal or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But if you extend him now, you kind of get a cheaper discount on RJ because he hasn't shown yet that he's a max type of player. So you sign RJ early, get him on a deal that's reasonable, and then as he develops, he's more than likely he's going to outperform that contract. So if you're going to extend RJ, it's better to do it now than wait another summer until, free agency comes, because if he explodes, then it's going to put the Knicks in a bind, and then it's like you have no choice but to give him the max deal as it is. So if you're going to re-sign him now.
I mean, I have no problems doing that. If he explodes and earns it, I have no problem paying the money because he earned it. You know what I'm saying? Because all my concerns have been percentage based, but the work ethic is there. And I know he's gonna, and he's been the face of the franchise. He's been the one who's been in front of the mic, taking these bullets for Julius Randle in the franchise. He's kind of poised to be the leader. He's kind of the face of the franchise already. So if he matches that with the performance, I have no qualms about giving him the money. I kind of feel like it's gonna be all incentive based anyway, because that's just the way the Knicks do things. Like I feel like, hey, this is gonna be the number, and then if you make the All-Star team, if you make the playoffs and you perform well, hit these benchmarks, you'll get max like money. I think that's probably what the direction is going to be.
I think of all the teams in the NBA, the Knicks have a perverse history of not extending their rookies. The fact that you can go back to Charlie Ward being, it's Mark Jackson. I think was the first one, right? Or Charlie
Ward. It's the Charlie
Yeah,
Ward.
last rookie.
Yeah.
That's damn near. That's over 20 years.
Crazy.
That's embarrassing. That's a lot of young guys that came in: Wilson Chandler, Danilo Gallerani, Iman Shumpert, all these guys, Timofey Moskrov, that we had and we let go for various reasons. Of all of them, RJ Barrett deserves a bag. If that pumps up his value right now to even 31, 32 million, pay the kid. Like, he represents New York well. He wanted to be here from the get-go. He only worked out for us. Like, that matters in terms of how the team is seen. and our value around the lead as these players talk, I think it's great to invest in someone who's already invested in us. I got no problem just making it rain on RJ Barrett.
Making it rain on RJ Barrett is wild. Yeah, I agree with you though. I definitely agree with you. I have no problem with that, and I think that's what I expect to happen, man. RJ's gonna be here, and so is Mitch. And for those wondering what's going on with Mitch, because people were like, "What happened to Mitch? I thought he was gonna sign him already."
That was me.
Yeah, that was you, but you weren't the only one. You weren't the only one. What's happening with Mitch is the Knicks can go over the cap to sign him. So he's going to be the last to be signed. Like so no matter what happens from here and now, that's going to be the last signing to be able to get Mitch's money. It's still been rumored that he's going to get 4 years, $60 million?
Yeah.
4 years, 60
I like that deal.
Yeah, which kind of works out to roughly $15 million a year, yeah. Which is kind of what we was talking about. He's gonna get that. He's gonna get that. It's a solid. It's a Robert money, a man from the Celtics money. You know, so decent deal for the Knicks. Good deal for Mitch Robinson. And stay healthy, man. And expand that game.
I have a feeling it'll probably be incentive based too. You know that Leon Rose is going to have some benchmarks he wants him to hit in order for him to clear all that money, and that's how it should be because Mitch's motor and consistency and commitment has fluctuated in the last couple of seasons. Last season was his best in terms of how focused and driven he was, but that has not always been the case since he's been drafted. So I hope that contract and trust that contract is laced with incentives for him to exceed expectations and get to a place where he's averaging 14 and 10. You know, I would love to see that 15 and 10.
You feel like he's had motor issues? I feel like his issues have always been like screening and well, this year it's been like wind for me. But I felt like he fought through it. But I never heard him. I never heard anyone say he had motor issues.
I've seen it watching games where he's playing up against other really good centers. He gets out for those games. But when he's playing teams are initiating a small ball offense and he's defending guys on the perimeter, there are times that Bibb sees him not hitting rotations where he should, and that's when he starts inserting Taj Gibson to the lineup at the 5 spot. So I don't think he's always been committed to playing his very best. He gets in early foul trouble. He never really was able to get his mind right back into the game to avoid fouling out. So there are some issues there, I think, with his commitment to get better and develop any sort of an offensive game. He's still just blocking, lobbing, and rolling to the basket. If you develop a little turnaround jumper or some type of short hook 5-10 feet away, that would really help his development offensively and just made him a better weapon.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully having another big man here who kind of can step out and shoot some shots, not directly in front of the rim. Hopefully it kind of motivates him to do the same thing too, because we gonna need some offensive production from Mitch to help extend this thing out. Because like we said, I've said this plenty of shows, Jalen Brunson has thrived with more of a stretch 5 type of lineup. So the more space we have, the better. So hopefully we're able to do that.
Yeah, and I just want to throw it now it's official because Adrian Wojnarowski just announced it right now. Free agent guard Jalen Brunson has agreed to a 4-year, $104 million deal with the New York Knicks.
104?
Oh,
yeah.
104.
Yeah, and the last year in the contract is an option. I don't know. It's a play option or team option. Damn, it just this
player option.
Player option. All right.
Player option. All right, so it's official, man. Got it got it towards the end. It's official. Jalen Brunson will be with the New York Knicks for 4 years, $104 million with a player option. Pretty sure there's incentives in there as well because that's the way we do business here. So congratulations to Jalen Brunson, new starting point guard of these New York Knicks. Hopefully this helps us turn this ship around to the right direction. So shout out to Jalen Brunson.
And I think him and Mitch will only help each other. Jalen Brunson was really good lobbing to Dwight Powell in Dallas. Now he's going to have an even better threat, rolling down the middle with Mitchell Robinson. I think Jalen Brunson will help Mitchell more than any other player on this roster. I
can see that, man. It's funny. I feel like year 1, Mitch I don't remember. Year one, Mitch caught so many lobs, and it has not been that way since. And I feel like RJ Barrett probably looks for him more than anybody else. But having a guy who's going to consistently feed him the ball should change a lot for Knicks and his offense, and even Mitch's motivation, because Mitch is, everybody's more motivated when he gets to touch the ball, but Mitch, he always takes to the stories and says, and looks at other centers who are more involved in the offense and goes, I want to do that. I want to be that. I want to be more involved. So there's obviously a need for him. He wants to touch the ball, and hopefully Jalen Brunson will bring that to this team.
Yeah.
All right, man. Anything else you want to talk about? I feel like we talked about everything and everything that is important to the Knicks. Free Obi.
Free Obi. At the moment, that man is still in a lock and key because Julius Randle is still a Knick.
Facts, man. Facts. I want to see more Obi Toppin. All right, yo. That is our show. Thank you guys for watching. If you like the show, please hit the like button, subscribe button. We're gonna be here talking about Knicks Summer League, and also during the season, we're here talking Knicks after every single game. And also, we will periodically make fun of the Nets whenever we feel like it, because that's just what we do here. Yo, Ryan, remember when we almost got our first sponsor and it was I don't even want to say the people's name, because maybe they'll come back now that the Nets suck. All right. And they asked us to they were partnering with the Nets, and they asked us to kind of like promote their event with the Nets, and I was just like, we can't do that, dog.
Yeah, it doesn't fit our platform.
And I never heard from them again. Never heard from them again. Maybe they'll come back right now. Shout out to Robert Paris. This is 499 Super Chat says, is Harris seen another soft European tongue out emoji?
Oh,
wow.
Damn.
Pessimistic.
The disrespect.
I mean, from what I can tell, no. Like, he's one of the best rim protectors. He's one of the best defenders at the rim this season. So people historically shoot 50% less when guarded by him at the rim. He's also a pretty decent perimeter defender from what I've been seeing. I'm not an expert on him. I've just been looking at stuff today. So I don't think he's soft, at least on the defensive end. How will he handle the pressure of New York? Because we already know New York is a beast. Heaviest jerseys are worn in New York. So when the pressure's on, will he produce? Remains to be seen. But from what I see, he seems great.
Let's be honest. Europeans are not as soft as they used to be. The Joker, let's be honest.
That is true.
The Joker, Jonas Valanciunas, not soft. KP, very soft.
Yeah. Charmin, tissue paper.
The Clippers, not soft.
Yeah, I feel like they've heard that label so much, and they just like channeled it and was like, I refuse to be that guy.
Mo Wagner, Franz Wagner, not soft. Orlando.
Yeah, Luka.
Luka definitely not soft.
Yeah, never soft. All right. So I don't know. I don't think he's soft. I don't think so. But yeah, that is our show, man. Guys, let us know where they can find you, sir. Go ahead, Lee.
Yeah, man, you can find me every week. I'm contributing to Posting and Toasting for SB Nation, writing about the Knicks, and then covering the NBA, culture, race, and economics for Deadspin as a whole. Lee Escobedo.
All right, Ryan. Let them know where they can find you, sir.
You can find me on Instagram at Sir G is chilling.
Sir G is chilling.
That's SIRG is CHILLIN. You can also find me at Sir G's Corner. That's, content's coming. You can also find me on Twitter at RyanGKOT. And of course, I'm a financial agent right now. So if you have any issues with your finances, if you want to secure your financial future, you can come to me as well. Hit me up on any of my links that Fritz posts in the chat. And, we can get, to work on something and, help you out.
Get money. All right. Like Biggie said, all right?
Get money, yeah.
Biggie was a Knicks fan. Don't let the Nets arena fool you. All right, cool. All right. All right, you already know what it is, man. You can listen to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, everywhere you listen to podcasts. You can also get that merch, that blue and orange snapback KLT. You can go to thenickoftimeshow.com/catalog and get that. And also get it in black and white. Also follow us on all social medias. That's the KOT Show on Twitter, the Knick of Time Show on Instagram, and the Knick of Time Show on Facebook to follow us and figure out what the hell we be doing and keeping up with your basketball news. All right, that is our show. Great show, gentlemen. You already know what it is. As always,
Shout out the World Wide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
it's a mess out here in these Knicks YouTube streets, but not as messy as it was a few days ago. Since Jalen Brunson is a New York Knick. It's the mess for the Knicks, really.
Yeah,
That is
all
our
the
show.
messes, exactly. All the messes in Brooklyn right now. All the messes in Brooklyn.
One more kick to the Nets before we leave. That is our show. We are out of here.
Peace.